The holidays are about spending time with your loved ones and creating magical memories that will last a lifetime. So whether it's family and friends you haven't seen in a while, or those who you see all the time, share holiday magic this season with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Copyright 2024, The Coca-Cola Company.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the generative AI assistant that can securely understand your business data, summarize results, and streamline tasks. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
What's up, my loves? Sarah B here for another episode of The Sarah B Show. Feeling great today. Went to the gym again before this episode, but I'm so exhausted from the weekend that I had, in a great way, that I feel like it's going to be just canceled out and normal today. I think we're in a good spot. I was so tired the endorphins can't do what they did last time, which was me sounding like I was on crack. So good things for you guys. Maybe you won't have to slow it down too much today. But anyway, what is up? I had my summit, my girls' weekend. It was just honestly better than I ever even imagined it could possibly be. It was so perfect in every sense of the way possible. I'm going to go into every single detail about it from start to finish, what we did from morning to night every day, and that is what this podcast is going to be about. But a couple of things before we get into all the juicy girls' weekend deets, you know, all the pillow fights and our pajamas and giggles and champagne. Is that what girls do? I don't know. Anyway, we will definitely get into that. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say thanks for all the messages and comments I've gotten. I actually did get down to reading some of them. I had a lot of you still messaging me information about Pensacola, stuff coming up about the trip that I'm taking to Florida, Crystal River stuff, and a lot of it has been super, super helpful, so thank you. It makes me sad because there's so much like great stuff, and I don't have enough time to do it all. This is seriously such a whirlwind trip, which is a bummer. But, you know, I can definitely get around to doing more next time. I did get my manatee tour booked. I saw this going to be like 40 degrees that morning that I go out to do this. Luckily, the place I'm going provides wetsuits because I'm going to freeze my ass off. It sounds so cold. Oh, man. But it'll be great. And I saw a lot of people told me about the, what is it, King's Landing. I remember that because Game of Thrones. And was it Three Sisters Springs? A lot of cool places you can go and like get paddle boards or kayaks. And I don't think I'm going to have time to do all of this, which is so sad. But at least I'll get a little bit. I'm just going to try to take deep breaths, slow life down, and enjoy every second of it. So again, thank you to everyone for the recommendations. Before we get to the end, I wanted to talk about a couple of other things. I had a lot of people sign up for Go Cleanse, which is so awesome. So shout out to everybody that signed up for that. Way to jump on the train. I am doing a mini cleanse this week myself. I don't know that I ate so bad over the weekend, but I drank so heavily and I had so many sweets and just like my body, my palate, like everything was just like off. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely like eating so much healthier this week. And it's funny because it's only Tuesday, right? And so I've had a couple of days here of getting on track, doing my Go Cleanse. And I just had my first workout since I've been back because I've just been allowing myself to rest and relax. But it's just amazing, like that turnaround that Go Cleanse can make your body. It's like flushes you out and not in a way that you're going to be on the toilet. A lot of people ask that. I think that's like the biggest question I have is like, is this a cleanse that's going to make me like be in the bathroom constantly? Literally, no, not at all. It's like the complete opposite. So anyway, just a couple days and I already feel so much better just like mentally and physically. So anyway, if you guys signed up, please keep in touch with me, message me, let me know how it's going, how you're liking it. Let me know your results. I love hearing this stuff because it's just I've been doing Go Cleanse and been a part of it for so long, but the results still impress me like day one. Like it's still so shocking to me the amount of weight you can lose from this if you just stick to it. And also a great thing to do after Thanksgiving. The people that do it during Thanksgiving are the real MVPs. Like, you guys are rock stars. I can't even do that. I do not know how you do that. I still am impressed that I would manage to do a full 30-day without cheating once. But I could not do it during the holidays. I just couldn't. I love Thanksgiving. I love eating. I will say every year I eat, Thanksgiving food. And then usually I would have to come in and run the best of, which we have a new system now. I don't have to do that, but I would come into the radio station early in the morning, and I would always have to work Black Friday, always. So I'd be up late, and the things that killed me is I would eat all this Thanksgiving food. I would have a ton of red wine, and then my brother always brings these really special, like, heavy stouts and porter beers, and we try them all, and they're all special releases, and they're delicious. And so I just feel like a actual bag of shit, basically. And not only that, though, then, of course, you know, your parents pack you all the leftovers. So then I bring leftovers into the studio the next morning at like 5 a.m., and eat leftovers then, and then just keep feeling like crap. And you have leftovers. And one, like the freaking Morgan guilt in me, the Baptist guilt, we're going to call it that, hates wasting food. I don't know why I have this thing about wasting food, so I will eat it and make myself feel like garbage instead of throwing it out, which is crazy. And I don't know why my mom never was like that to me, like finish your vegetables or whatever. Never. It's a thing in me. My dad does it. Maybe I get it from him. Let's just blame him for everything. Men, am I right? But basically, so there's that. And then also, like, you know, your mom packs you all this food, and it's so good, too, so you want to eat it before it all goes bad. So it's just, like, days of binging freaking Thanksgiving food, and you just feel like a giant potato, literally. Like, roll me into the next room. Anyway, and I'll probably do it again this year. Let's be real. Let's be real. Oh, man. I'm telling my mom, please don't send me home with anything. Oh, and it's all carbs. Macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, dinner rolls. God, it's so good. I freaking love Thanksgiving food. And I didn't get to do Thanksgiving last year because of the breakup, my mom being in the hospital. So it's been 2 years for me. Oh, I'm going to probably have a heart attack. Oh, I'm going to knock on wood. Let's not say that. Anyway, let's just everybody pray for me and my body for next week. Anyway, with that being said, like I said, if you're doing a Go Cleanse during this, you're a rock star. I know a lot of people do it, and they'll like allow themselves, they'll do like a shake in the morning, do, you know, a big Thanksgiving lunch, and then do a shake for dinner and get right back on track. You guys are freaking amazing. I don't know how you do it. But anyway, if you want to join the tribe, let's call it the Go Cleanse tribe with us, you can go to gocleanse.com/Sarah. That's Go Cleanse, G-O, spelling is hard, CLEANSE.com/SARAH. And check it out. And again, I have amazing coaches on there. Rita's on there. Tiffany, everyone is awesome. They can answer all your questions if you have any health-related concerns and all that. So anyway, Go Cleanse is great. They have 11 days. You can do a 30-day. You can get it and just kind of piece it together when you want. That's kind of what I do because I don't do anything the way it should be done, but it still works for me. That's how great it is. I stand by it. Anyway, that being said, the other thing I want to get to is I had a comment just come in before I got here when I was at the gym. And it is about my OnlyFans. So first of all, I do have an OnlyFans. It is, once again, no nudity at all. I've never posted any nudity. It's more like sexy selfies, sexy videos, sometimes funny stuff, just like a day in the life of me. I'm doing a lot more personal stuff on there. I'm going to try to start doing that. Just, you know what I mean? Just change it up a little bit. A lot of foot stuff. It started off as just feet pictures and videos as a joke. And then I started making like banging money from it. And I'm like, I'm never stopping. Now I actually have a lot of like really big foot fans on there. But anyway, no nudity at all. And actually, that's why I wanted to talk about this. It's $9.99 a month, which is not bad. It's like a cup of coffee anymore, which really it is. I got a Starbucks this week and it was like $7.50 for a medium or something. Like, that's crazy, but it was worth it. Anyway, so it's that. It helps me out a lot. It really genuinely helps me pay the bills. Like, I would not be able to afford rent without my OnlyFans. So I really appreciate you all subscribing. It is subscribing. It is onlyfans.com/Sarah B. Morgan, SARAH, the letter B, MORGAN. So thank you for that. But I got a message from a guy. I won't say his name because I don't know if it's supposed to be anonymous on the way in here. And he's like, hey, what's up? Just curious if there's a reason why you don't answer messages on OnlyFans. I've been over this. I'll get to it. It feels like a big opportunity to get closer to your fans and make money in the process. I'm just curious. I've tried messaging and tipping and I've never gotten your attention. LOL. So first of all, I apologize, but I have been over this. So I genuinely, and this is not an exaggeration, I have somewhere between, I think it's like between 250 and 350 messages on there that I have not read. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people that do special requests. There's a lot of people that go message people and do special things for, you know, money. And I do understand that's like the main way you make money on OnlyFans. And I already make a pretty big killing. I'm like top 5 or 6% of earners on there, which I think is kind of an impressive detail. Like, that's kind of crazy, right, when you think about it? And I'm like, God, how many girls are literally going on there showing everything for like nothing? Then that's crazy. But people need money, and a lot of people think it's fun, whatever, you know. But either way, the reason I don't is because I say on the front page, I don't do special requests and I don't do nudity. And that is literally every message in my inbox is asking me for special requests, which is stuff I'm not going to do, like real dirty stuff. And then a lot of nudity requests, which again, I'm not going to do either. Like $200, show me your boobs. I won't show anyone. Like, oh, okay, random person, I trust you. Like, I get a lot of that. And yes, I have every man in the world telling me, you're going to regret this one day once you get too old to do it and you're not attractive anymore. This is your prime. Okay, thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. Maybe your daughter would like to do it. Go ask her about that. Anyway, it just bothers me. But no, I'm good with what I'm doing. And the reason I don't answer my messages is because it's all requests for just me being nude for you. Not you specifically, person who wrote me, just people in general. It's like 90% of nude stuff, and then a lot of there I'm getting trolls on there too, like, you know, you need to answer your messages, I pay good money for this, and, you know, show me your blah 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 blah. Like, it's a lot of gross perverts. And I don't do special requests, I don't do nudity, so that's kind of why I realize there's probably some stuff on there that's not that bad, but it's a lot of people trying to shame me into doing more, and a lot of mean people on there. So that is the main reason I do not answer those. Maybe one day I'll try to go through it, but honestly, I feel like it would depress me, bring me down, and make me in a really shitty mood. So it's probably not going to happen. But I do appreciate your message. So I hope you listen to this, and maybe I should actually just send your an email back too. But hit me up through this email again if you actually like have a concern or question about something that's not what I just said. So anyway, thanks to everyone who signed up for Go Cleanse and my OnlyFans. This stuff helps a lot. Fixing to get into all this stuff for the girls' weekend. I feel like the endorphins are kind of like amping up now. Once again, this was my first trip back to the gym since the girls' trip, and I was like, I need to get there. It's just hard because I'm trying to get like my body back right and get my mind back right, get a couple gym sessions and get caught up on sleep, and then I literally leave for Florida the day after tomorrow, which is crazy. So it's just hard. I'm trying to prioritize what is going to help me the most before I get back on the road and out for another trip here. So I did a gym session today, nothing crazy. I just went in and I was going to do like 20 minutes of ab work, and then like some cardio, like 30 minutes of, what is it, my 12-3-30, 12 incline, 3 speed, and 30 minutes. 30 minutes, yeah. So I started doing that, and I sweat my ass off. Oh my God, you guys. It was all the alcohol I drank. I was sweating so much. I was like dripping. Like my hair's in a braid down my back, and it's just wet, and I'm just wet everywhere. Like I was so gross. So about 25 to 30 minutes in, the fire alarm starts going off, and that happens here all the time in this iHeart studio, like every morning. And so I keep saying one day we're going to catch on fire, because it's like it cries wolf. It's never anything. It's always a false alarm, like dust or something gets caught, and then firemen come, they turn it off, and they leave. And it happens like almost once a week, literally, at least every other week. So it started going off, and I wasn't concerned. And in my mind, I was like, well, I can see outside here. I'm like by the lobby. That's kind of where the gym is in this building now. And you can see out front. I could get outside pretty easily if I need to. So I was like, I'm just going to keep working out. And I was like, plus I know from experience, the firemen are going to come, which means the elevators are going to be locked. I can't leave or anything anyway. I might as well stay in the gym, and I'll get some firefighter views. So I was right about it all. I stayed there on the treadmill, kept working out. Firefighters came. I was like, ooh, I took a little video, put it on my Instagram. And just waited till they left. And so I ended up doing like 50 minutes instead, which was good. So that is why I'm gross and sweaty here doing my podcast. Got some good endorphins going. And now it is that time. I'm going to tell you guys all about my girls' weekend, the bitches of E-Stick, the summit. Get ready. Here we go.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Streaming now on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot.
loves it. For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
All right, guys, so get ready. We are going to talk about the summit, which was, as you know, my squad, the bitches of E-Stick, Jenny, Cassie, and myself, and we call this the summit. It's just like us getting over our exes, our past relationships. Jenny's been out of hers for a while and has moved on and is very happy. Cass is very, very newly single, like within the last month or so. And as you guys know, mine is coming up on a year and still having a hard time getting over it. But basically, this was just a trip to have us all get together and, be our best. We're at our peak, just have the best weekend ever. So, and we did. So I'm going to go over every single thing. I flew in Thursday evening and left Sunday evening. And I'm just going to go over what we did from start to finish every day. Jenny had so many surprises, was the absolute best host ever. So if you get annoyed, I'm sorry. But I'm going to just tell you all the details. Maybe I can give you some ideas for your own girl weekend. And you can just lift their me a little. I'm very, very lucky to have such good friends and just had the absolute best time. So trip to Springfield from Dallas is not too bad. The tickets are pretty cheap and the flight itself is only 45 minutes. It says it's an hour and 15, but it's such a short flight. And it's the only flight I can actually afford first class on because it's so cheap. And I had points and everything. So I was like, why not? Let's treat yourself. So I got first class as well and got to sit in my own little seat to my side, which is also scary too because first class, as you know, includes free alcohol. And my big thing was I wanted to not get super drunk at the airport before I get there with them. Jenny was concerned with Cassie and I having a little too much to drink as we are very much party girls. And then especially all of us together, she wanted us to all not have a bad time. No fighting, drama, chaos, no bad hangovers because she also had plans for the next day. And I knew she had plans, but little did I know she had the entire itinerary completely mapped out. It's actually what's going to help me with my notes on this today. Excuse me. Because she had a notepad with everything detailed. And Cassie was on it as well. It was a lot of surprises for me because I had never been there. And it was my first time ever spending a weekend with them and all of us together and with Jenny at her house, everything. So anyway, I fly in and she was already worried, please try to take it easy at the airport because I love airport drinking. Airport bars are one of my favorite places in the world because you meet people and everybody's like, yeah, you can meet them and you never have to see them again. Well, it's not really like that with me. I meet them and I get phone numbers and all social media and I still keep in contact with so many people that I met at the airport, which is so fun. And this time too, I met a guy. He definitely had a girlfriend though. We were talking about hiking and he was going to Colorado and going to national parks. I'm like, oh, you're going alone? He's like, no. And then it got awkward and said, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, cool. And he's like, I wish. And I was like, oh, that's anyway, it was funny. So, but yeah, you drink at airport bars, you meet people from all around the world and hear about their trips they're going on or coming home from. I just absolutely love it. I love it. And people drink at 10 a.m. and it's not looked bad upon. It's just fun. And then my go-to airport drink is a vodka dirty martini, which of course I had. It was also at TGIF Fridays, so it was pretty disgusting, but it was still had. So I did that. Went to get on my flight, had what did I have on the flight? I had whiskey, Coke Zeros, because I wanted some caffeine too, and to be alert and awake. It was a very quick, awesome flight once we got there. I was told to have my camera rolling, and I'm like, great, what's going to happen? What is happening? This was also the night we were doing something called the funeral. So we were going to basically all wear black dresses and go out, basically for the funeral, the death of our exes, the death of our past relationship, celebrating the loss and mourning and moving on and whatever, so that was the whole plan. So I landed and I had done my makeup and hair, all that stuff beforehand, and I had my heels and my dress in my carry-on so I could change once I landed, which I did. And then, had my big 6-inch sparkly booties. I had this dress that I bought in Curacao when I worked on cruise ships. It was a pretty expensive dress, and it was one that apparently a Kardashian wore. to an awards show. And I just remember that because I wanted to buy it. And they told me, I can't remember which one of them, I don't even know their names, wore it. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, they didn't know, but this like made me want to buy it less. I'm not a Kardashian fan. But anyway, it's really pretty. I only wore it like once or twice, and then I gained like 20 pounds, so I can never wear it again. And it actually fits now. And it's like, I was just so happy I finally got to wear it. And I had one of those little hats that you wear at a funeral that has like the lace that you push in front of your face. It was just so fun and extra. So I put that on, and like I said, Jenny told me to start filming. So I did. I was waiting on them to get there. And then all of a sudden, Jenny pulls up. And now let me tell you the context of this. For the Lex and Terry show, they called Jenny the grandmama of the group because she's only like a couple of years older than Cassie and I, and she has kids. And she's not even a grandma, but they call her grandmama. And she's such a badass bitch because she doesn't get upset about it. She just embraces it. And she totally embraced it because she freaking picked me up wearing this like old woman wig. It was this big curly like silver gray wig, and she had like glasses on and a pearl necklace, and it was the funniest shit I have ever seen. And she like grabs my luggage. I'm like, "You're gonna pull your back, grandmama?" And she's like, "I've got it." And she, oh god, it was funny. And we were like dying laughing. We were like screaming laughing, so much so a cop came down there, but we didn't get in trouble. He was like laughing too. He's like, "Are y'all causing a ruckus down here or whatever?" And I was like, "It's your fault. It's your Missouri people." And he's like, "It is always our fault." Oh, God, it was so funny. So I definitely need to post that video later. We got videos of it. I've just been exhausted and napping my life away since I've gotten back, so I haven't posted anything. But it was damn funny. It was a great way to be picked up and get with my girls. We went to a delicious sushi restaurant after that. I do not remember the name of it. We had these tuna cigars and other yum stuff there. Couple cocktails, and then we went to Vantage, which is the rooftop bar at the Vandevort. Now, the plan was to go there for one and then go to Moxie's rooftop bar for one. I think that was the plan. But we ended up going to Vantage, and it was very chill, very slow. Super hot bartender there, by the way, which everyone should go see her if you live in the Springfield area. Her name is Isabella. You have to say it with the Italian accent, and she was just awesome. Makes the most killer drinks, great conversationalist, just absolutely adorable. She was great. So we stayed there, and it was really slow at first, and then it ended up getting so busy and so fun. They had a whole fall menu, like autumn margaritas and all this other stuff. It was great. So we had several cocktails instead of one. And it was funny because Jenny gave us our drink quota, and she's like, "I have to be right back. I'll go somewhere. I need to get something." It turns out she was actually going to the hotel that we were in to buy robes for us, which is the sweetest thing ever. And so she went to buy robes, and we were up there, and Cass was like, "Should we order another drink while Jenny's gone?" And I'm like, "Yes." That's how the night started. Then some British guys came in there, and their names were Alan and Giles. I remember that somehow. I do not know. And, you know, we were doing all the stereotypical, like, Spotted Dick, Harry Potter crap with them, which is super fun. And I say we. It was really me. It's what I do. And then we were flirting, and they were just older men, not very attractive either. And then the bartender was like, "Be careful." She overheard him saying like, "Oh, we're going to get these girls back to our room tonight. So easy. Like that's the plan," or something. It was dirtier and more awful than that. But she's like, I just literally overheard them say that. She's like, "Be careful." And then every time I'd be like, "Ellen, Giles," she'd be like, "No." Like she totally watched out for us. It was so great. We made a lot of friends there. Oh, I made a friend with a guy that sat next to me who I thought was super hot. And he was with a group of people. He was watching the Eagles and, God, who do they play? I don't know, the Eagles game on his phone and checking his fantasy. And so I was like, oh, you know, I have Hurts playing as well as Barkley. And so I was watching with him and we were flirting. And then it turns out he was 21 years old. And I was like, God, what is wrong with me? Like every guy I talked to is in their 20s and they're just getting younger. It's like, does every guy in their 30s and 40s just stay home now? Like, it's crazy. So anyway, that was fun. I follow all these like young guys I meet on Instagram now. Like, it's so funny. So that was a good time. And we ended up leaving kind of against our better judgment because it was so fun. But we're like, we're going to go to Moxie for one. Let's go. So we left this super fun bar, went to Moxie, and it was just dead. Their rooftop bar was closed. They only had the lobby bar open. And it was just like, it was just the worst thing in the world compared to like the Vandevort or Vantage or whatever. So anyway, that happened. And we ended up actually just like walking out. And then I was like, "Hey guys," and this is typical Sarah B. I was like, "They have a gay karaoke bar called the Hour House. Do we want to go?" And so we did. We ended up meeting a guy along the way, inviting him to come with us, and he did, which was so funny. What else? I have so much to say. I'm trying to get through this quickly. We saw people that were at Vantage that went to the karaoke bar too. And I met a girl who was like my new BFF because she was a fellow Swiftie. She and her super hot ass boyfriend came there. She drug him there so she could sing one Taylor Swift song. And she was so cute. And then other people were singing Taylor Swift and we were dancing and singing together. I did my Taylor Swift proposal to her during the song Love Story. It was just so much fun. We came up with a new song because Florence and the Machine played, and it was Dog Days Are Over, which I never liked that song before, but it was like the way it hit the spot we were in, and then the lyrics and everything we're going through was just so perfect. And Jenny ended up getting it on camera. We had this whole big dance scene, and it was just, God, it was so wholesome. It was so fun. So that is now our song, our squad song, our anthem. And we also sang, Wilson Phillips, Hold On, because I guess the guys from Lex and Terry were saying that we were Wilson Phillips. So we sang that together. And I will say I only sang like the first minute with them, and then I ran down so I could get a video because nobody was videoing us, and I wanted to have something on video. So I did it to be a good friend, and I was nice, and I got in trouble big time. Jenny was flipping me off, and Cassie gave me what we call the karaoke death glare. She looks really hot when she's angry, but it also is terrifying, and she was really mad. So anyway, we got out of there eventually after we sang. I wanted to sing again. Cassie was having a good time. We did not want to leave, and Jenny was to the point of okay, guys, it's past midnight. We were only supposed to have a couple drinks. I have to work tomorrow. There was a lot of stuff planned. So we got the whole, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. This is the address. If you don't make it, then you got to get there yourself. And anyway, we ended up leaving and getting out of there. It was all good. Drove home, saw some deer on the way home, which was super cool. Cass went right to sleep when we got home, and I was like, I'm hungry. And Jenny's like, I know. I remember you told me that you were a snacker. So we get in. I get to meet her beautiful daughter. Went to the bedroom. And so downstairs, she has a basement. There were 2 bedrooms. One was mine, one was Cass's. I had the Van de Voort robe on the bed, a stocking with my initial on it, some face mask. She had pretzels, pistachios, popcorn, all these snacks for me. The bedroom was amazing. It's just it was literally better than a 5-star hotel. She is the greatest host ever. Cass always said it, but I never experienced it. I'm yeah, cool. She has people over, but no, she was amazing. So she put us all to bed, and we went to sleep, and that was night 1. So Friday, wake up, we slept in, and Jenny was gone when we woke up. She was once again shopping. She went and got us Parlor donuts, which are there. If you haven't had those in Missouri, oh my effing God, they were so good. She got us 6. They were giant, some with fresh cream, maple bacon. Oh my geez, they were delicious. So Cassie and I ate some donuts. We relaxed, lounged around. We found a trampoline in the backyard. So we went out there in our robes and jumped on the trampoline, which is the first time I've done that since I was in elementary school, I think. It has been so long since I've been on a trampoline. And it's also exhausting. I didn't realize how tiring they were. I'm God, that child energy is crazy. But it was so fulfilling in ways that I can't even explain. That happened. Jenny had a lounge as well, a downstairs backyard, and then a kind of sun lounge up on the upper deck with chairs, and it's just the woods out there, a little lake. There were donkeys next door. It was just so beautiful. So Cass went out, and I went out there in our robes, and Cass made a makeshift sangria. So we were having some hair of the dog, and we got really hungry. And Jenny was I'm coming home and make you guys grilled cheeses. And we're oh yeah, grilled cheese, hell yeah. So we heard something in the kitchen, and we're I think Jenny's home. We were too lazy to get up, so we checked our location on the phone, and I was yep, she's home. So we heard somebody in the kitchen. We started just semi-buzzingly yelling things we need cheese, please. And we're we need cheese in our mouths. And then all of a sudden her son comes out, who's freaking adorable. And we're hey, KJ, what's up? And we met him and stuff. And then he went back inside, and we're I wonder if he told Jenny about the cheese. And then it turns out he actually did go in there, and he's Mom, they really want cheese. Which is so effing cute. So then Jenny brings us cheese outside and starts feeding us cheese. And then makes us these amazing charcuterie grilled cheeses with really yummy cheese and prosciutto and arugula. God, it was just phenomenal. So after that, she had another surprise for us. We dressed comfy and cozy, and we went to a place called Silver Dollar City, which is a theme park. To me, it was our version of Six Flags, except for less trashy. It was so pretty because it was in the middle of the woods, lots of hills. It was just like outdoorsy and beautiful and the most amazing freaking roller coasters. Our favorite by far, I can't remember what it's called, like the time machine one. I don't know, but it was so fun. And I used to be kind of scared of roller coasters that would go like upside down and do crazy stuff, but like totally overcame my fear. We rode so many roller coasters and we rode them several times. We hit on hot like Ozark dudes and lumberjacks and made so many inappropriate comments. And it was also like in the Christmas theme, so we got to see the giant tree lighting and Christmas lights everywhere. It was, again, just like the most like wholesome, magical evening. No alcohol there, no drinking, no clubbing, it was just us girls and fun I haven't had since like I was a kid. You know what I mean? Freaking trampolines and roller coasters and theme parks. Like, it was so much fun. We were also doing like little girl crap, like teenage girl stuff. Like, I've never had like a group of girls that I like look for guys with or flirt with guys with in the wild like that since, again, I was in like elementary or middle school. So this was so much fun for me. And it'd be like, you know, a hot guy was like leaning against the thing and I was like, do you want me to touch his hand? So I'd lean back and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, just stupid stuff. It was so much fun. So then we went home to have dinner and we were entirely sober at this time, which was awesome. And we got home and Jenny was going to make dinner and she's like, I'm so sorry. It's going to be so late. And we're like, oh, we're totally fine. Like, what do we have to do? So this was the night we had a movie planned to watch at home, but it was what it was. So my job was the official dog holder. So I held Cassie's puppy, Mr. Biggs. He was in my lap. And Cass made charcuterie with like some amazing cheeses and salami, prosciutto, and olives. And she had this like really stinky cheese, she called it. And it was like gooey and delicious. I don't even remember what it was called, but it was phenomenal. We had like garlic dips and toasted bread. And so Cass made that whole thing and we snacked on that. And Jenny made us cocktails. Cass had some kind of gin cocktail, and she made us blackberry smashes, which were phenomenal. Oh, my God, she makes them so good. I just love them. So we had that. We played some music, some girly music, and just girl talked and just had the best time while she was cooking. She made the most freaking phenomenal dinner. It was like these big, thick-ass, like rare to medium rare fillets with a brandy peppercorn sauce and mashed potatoes and garlic green beans. And oh, my heaven, it was so amazing. So we did that. We tried to watch the fight, but it didn't end up working out. I did get to FaceTime my friend George from England. Hello, George. Because he was like, hey, I'm going to be home watching the fight. Like, we should totally talk. And I was like, well, I'm out of town at a girls' weekend. But we still managed to get a FaceTime in, and it was so good to see his face and catch up a little bit and hear his voice. So after that was my absolute, like, this is all my favorite. But I think this night was my favorite, and this part specifically. We were going to watch Practical Magic. We had to start it right at 11:12 p.m. so that the midnight margaritas part happened right at midnight. Jenny ended up going and getting all the ingredients that we tried the midnight margarita or the autumn margaritas from Vantage from because they were so good. So we made those. And Cass went and got all the costumes, like all the pajamas that each character was wearing in the movie. So we were literally dressed like them too. So I was deemed Nicole Kidman, which is so funny because I always thought I was a Sandra Bullock character. But after watching it again, I was like, oh, my God, I absolutely am the Nicole Kidman character. Like the one who has awful taste in men and falls in love too hard and gets hurt and just is like a crazy person. So that was me. Cass was dressed as Sandra Bullock. Jenny was one of the aunts. And then we realized that the personalities were totally switched. Like Jenny is totally Sandra Bullock with a heart and taking care of people and like just so sweet. And then Cass is definitely like the judgy aunt, which is so funny. But anyway, it was just the best time. I got us witches' hats. We were dancing around with our margaritas. We were crying. We were laughing. It was just, oh, my God, it was so much fun. So that happened, and then we had another wonderful night of sleeping. That bed was so comfy. I usually sleep really bad when I'm out of town, but I didn't here. Like, I slept so good. Normally, I'm like, I can't wait to be back in my own bed, but I slept like a baby in this soft bed. I loved it. So that ended Friday night. Now we go to Saturday. Have you guys had enough yet? It's a lot, I know. So Saturday we wake up. Jenny, Cass stayed in bed for a while, so Jenny and I got some one-on-one time, which was really fun and very endearing. And Jenny made us these delicious coffees that had like I don't even know, it was like espresso with like vanilla vodka, Kahlua, and she like steamed some milk. It was just so good. So we started off with like coffee cocktails, yum yum. And then she made like an entire tray of the cinnamon toast crunch bacon that I finally got to try, which was so good. Not too sweet, very salty, savory, and just like a little sweet. Oh, it was delicious. That was like our breakfast appetizer. And then I was forced to watch a movie that I've never watched or seen, and they have wanted me to watch forever, which is Cruel Intentions. And it was so funny because, like, honestly, I feel like if I would have seen this when it came out like they did, that it would have changed me or, like, shaped me a little differently. I would have liked it maybe better. It would have been super hot and, like, a great movie to me. But watching it now in 2024, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is pretty cheesy. Like, the acting seems really bad. And the whole point and, like, plot and purpose of it was like, ugh, I'm banging all the girls. And, like, I'm going to destroy reputations. Like, you know, it just kind of seemed a little silly to me. But I was, like, down for it. I'm watching it. I'm a team player. And I held it up, and I was good. Until the very end when friggin' Ryan Phillippe gets hit by that cab and, like, flies over the top, and it's supposed to be sad. But it just seemed like the worst storyline to me. Like, it just seemed so disconnected, and that there wasn't even enough time for, like, Reese Witherspoon or him to make a connection. I just didn't get that vibe. But then when he got hit by the freaking cab, I could not hold it back. I started laughing, and they were crying, and they got mad. They're like, you bitch! Oh, God, it was so funny, though. But I watched it. You know, I enjoyed it for what it was. I could see back when it came out that it was a super, like, shaping movie for young girls and stuff, too. So I liked it. I saw it. I'm here for it. I was good. And then while we were watching the movie, like, close to the end, Jenny comes out with breakfast, which was freaking delicious. She did this, like, fried eggplant over, like, this vegetable hash with, like, sweet potatoes and beets and Brussels sprouts, and had poached eggs and hollandaise sauce. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, she's a freaking chef. And she brought these to this couch we're lounging on, and we were just eating, it was just the best morning ever. So then we ended up getting ready, and Jenny was taking us to go do this, like, sled thing that she's always sent us pictures of. It's honestly looks scary. They have, like, zip lining, and there's this giant hill that you get on this sled and go down the hill. So we go there, and it closed in, like, an hour and a half or 2 hours, and apparently some place had rented it out for the whole afternoon. So we got ready to go here and do this, and we couldn't do it. And she was very upset at first because, you know, she wanted her plans to go the way she wanted them to. And so she very quickly was like, okay, I got a plan B. Let's go. So we went to this place called Top of the Rock. I think it's like a golf resort kind of place, and they have restaurants and bars. And we ended up getting a thing to do this, like, golf cart Christmas thing. The only bad thing was, and I realized this very quickly, that it was 3 hours until our golf cart experience because it was all sold out until then. So we had 3 hours to stay there at the bar. And I was like, uh-oh. So we ended up going to this bar. It was so beautiful. The views out there, Top of the Rock for a reason. Like, the sunset, like, the rolling hills, you could see forever. It was just unbelievably gorgeous. Oh, my God, it was so pretty. So many cute guys there for us to hit on. Of course, the first one I talked to, I could hint, like, an accent. I thought he was hot. He was from the Dominican Republic. I can find those guys anywhere. And I loved it. And he was like, we can dance bachata later. I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah, for sure. Like, whatever. Didn't happen, but it was fun to flirt. But met so many, like, great people there. And it was good. I had the best old fashions. Oh, my God. They were delicious. So we had, like, these really fancy, beautiful cocktails while we, like, watched the sunset. Got great pictures. And just had a good time. And then it ended up being so late that we actually ended up eating dinner there. And, the night before when Practical Magic had ended, the holiday came on. And so, of course, I was a little intoxicated. We were sitting at a table at this very fancy restaurant, and I thought it was the perfect time to do Mr. Napkin Face. So I put the napkin on my face, my sunglasses on, and I was smoking my knife, which was my pipe, and we got great pictures and videos. And right before that, we're like, all three are like, I'll take the lobster mac and cheese. I'll have the lobster wrap. Like, all of us like, we'll take the lobster, please. And then doing freaking Mr. Napkin Face and Borat impressions. It was ridiculous, but so much fun. Also, Cass and I were hitting on this guy, like, the whole time, who was a busboy. Super cute. Arms were insane. We found out he was 22. And we're, like, sitting there making all these comments, like, oh, yeah, his name was Maximus. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh, that's such a big tray, Maximus. You're so good at lifting that. But he kept coming back. He loved it. He kept coming back, like, do you ladies need anything else? And he wasn't even, like, with our table or anything. It was so funny. So it was just an evening like that. And then we ended up hitting 7:30, going on our golf cart adventure, which was basically like maybe like a 45-minute tour to an hour around, like, these woods where they put all these, like, Christmas lights up. And so there were, like, waterfalls, lights, like bears and reindeer, like, made out of Christmas lights, and just so many great photo ops. We were listening to Taylor Swift. We had our little drinkies that we bought, like pumpkin spice coffees and seltzers. And of course we were still drinking and going through the lights. And it was just such a freaking fun night. So it's crazy. It's like the one little snafu that we had ended up turning into, like, such an amazing evening. So anyway, we went home after that. We ended up watching Cabin in the Woods, which was awesome because Jenny doesn't like scary movies. And we've told her about this one. It's more of a comedy than a scary movie. And it was really fun. So we watched that. She ended up loving it. It was super great. Before that, also, Cassie ended up, I think I said this before, ordering 11 pints of ice cream to the house. So we did a TikTok live where we tried all of them, and we were not a fan of most of them. They were so expensive too, and like there were like 2 to 4 that we really enjoyed. The rest, it just kind of tasted like nothing. But it was really fun to try them, and Cass was getting mad because we didn't like a lot of the flavors. We also tried the Dubai chocolate bars that I ended up getting for us, so that was fun. And it was just such a good time. Oh my gosh, what else? We did some Christmas poppers that Jenny had, and they had little crowns inside, so of course we were wearing our crowns when we did our TikTok live. Glitter was everywhere. We were supposed to do dinner at home. She had gotten, shrimp and scallops and grits with chorizo, and that was going to be awesome. But we had an amazing dinner of lobster, Mr. Napkin Face, while we were out, and lots of flirting. So that was super fun. And that was the end of that night. We were super sad to go to bed because, we didn't want it to end. But it was just such a jam-packed weekend. And, yeah. So the next day, we're finally to our last day. This is Sunday. Jenny wanted to take us back to Top of the Rock to brunch. So that was the original plan before we left. Apparently, they have an amazing brunch. So we went there for that. And once again, we dressed up. It was great. The views were beautiful. And Jenny ate. Cassie and I hardly ate anything. I know Cass eats smaller portions and stuff, but I wanted to smash some of this food. But we did bottomless mimosas, and our little waiter, who ended up being at 19, it just got worse and worse as the weekend went on. Was adorable, and we were flirting and being so inappropriate. He was too, let me say. But it was so fun. So we were just harassing him and having the best time. And I did not eat as much as I wanted to. We ate very little, but we also apparently broke the record for the most rounds of mimosas had. So they had regular grapefruit. They had a lavender mimosas. It was so good. Anyway, we were there and just had the absolute best time. Left the little 19-year-old a super amazing tip that he was probably very happy about. And anyway, it was super fun. Yeah, so that was it. We ended there. Ended up going home, changing into comfy clothes, saying our goodbyes, saying bye to the puppies, and it was just a close to how perfect the freaking weekend was. It was literally I was worried about some drama. I even told them that. I was we've never spent all 3 of us actual time together without work going on or other things going on. And I was is there going to be any? Because you know how girls can be, and all my other friend groups has always been like that, just some kind of drama. But this could not have gone more perfectly. It was just such an amazing weekend. Again, so many wholesome child fun memories, just roller coasters and trampolines and talking about boys, and it was just freaking perfect. It was freaking perfect. We talked a lot about our past experiences, things we want to live up to, goals, hopes, dreams, what we want for each other. Just a lot of laughing, a lot of crying, and I have 2 sisters, and I'm so, so very thankful for that. It was really hard saying bye to Jenny at the airport. She was the most freaking amazing host ever. She is a rock star. How do you do it? You could be a wedding planner or some kind of a hotel manager, hospitality something. You are so good at this. And then Cass and I ended up having one more drink at the airport together and crying when we left as well. And it was just a bummer. But my mom picked me up from the airport, which was super fun. We went out for tacos after, which I was very hungry for because I barely ate at brunch. It's the most expensive brunch ever with the most amazing food. And I had 2 plates of Triscuits, basically, a couple of oysters. I so missed out. Next time. So we'll see. But anyway, what a perfect weekend. It was so much fun. Thank you, girls, for everything. Thanks for being amazing friends. And now the fun thing about that is we've been friends for so long and we've never actually done that. And now we're this has to be an every year thing. The yearly summit. And Cass and I are even pushing for biannual because it was so much fun. How can we only do this once a year? What a fun time. And we said if we do that every year and go back to Branson, we can have those traditions of doing this kind of the same stuff, or at least the same staple things. And anyway, it was just so fun. So now I'm exhausted. I drank my little ass off all freaking weekend. So that's why I'm back on my go cleanse, pushing the water and the hydration, a little bit of gym here and there, trying to catch up on sleep because now my little ass goes to Florida in 2 days. So, man, go, go, go. That's what I do. All right. Well, I'm sorry if that was like crazy to get through. I tried to speed it up and get through everything. There was just so much. It was the most perfect weekend I could ever ask for. And there you go. All right. That being said, I am going to get home. I'm going to go eat some dinner and, God, maybe start packing for Florida because I leave for that the day after tomorrow. So, my treat to myself tonight, too, I'm going to watch a Christmas movie, one of the new Netflix ones. I'm so excited. The holiday season is upon us. I will do another podcast for how my Florida trip goes. That'll probably be my next one. And it'll probably be after Thanksgiving. So you know what? Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat your asses off. It's what it's here for. Enjoy family, friends. And if you're out there alone, just know I'm with you and thinking about you as well. It was me last year. Reach out if you need to. And yeah, I'm sending good vibes to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you all. And thanks for listening. Bye.